Breaking news overnight, some sad breaking news. Hayden Panettiere has died. We all watched her grow up, starting with Remember the Titans, just 36 years old when she passed away.
Very sad, very young. Also ahead, we are live in Hawaii after it was slammed by Hurricane Lala. And Melissa Dunn, you see her. She is there as cleanup gets underway.
First, the deadly flooding in Indiana. At least 7 people killed. Entire towns underwater as the region hit with rain so hard. Alex Perez in Carmel, Indiana with the latest. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, George. You can see the impact of all that rain. Take a look behind me here. You can see this parking lot is collapsing after all of those floodwaters. They've gotten more than a foot of rain here in less than a week. This morning, floodwaters receding following a week of catastrophic flooding across Indiana as the long road to recovery begins.
The hazards are still there. The challenges are still there.
At least 7 people have been killed, including a 4-year-old boy, after several days of torrential rain and flash flooding inundated the state. Emergency crews conducting dozens of water rescues. At one point, at least 150,000 without power. Streets turned to rivers, roads washed away. This home in the Ravenswood neighborhood of Indianapolis completely flooded. North of Indianapolis in Noblesville, cars and buildings submerged. 170 residents forced to evacuate, many with their pets. Hundreds of homes impacted by the rising waters. The White River reaching its highest water level ever Saturday, breaking a record set in 1913. In the town of Carmel, at least 215 homes and businesses affected by flooding, 40 residents forced to evacuate. In West Virginia, roads overflowing from the torrential downpour, emergency crews racing to rescue cars stuck in the floods.
Here comes the rain sheet.
In Kentucky, shoppers pelted with rain and strong wind as they crossed the parking lot of this shopping center. And in Englewood, Colorado, a snowplow seen moving mounds of hail off the road following a severe thunderstorm. And take a look on this side. You can see even better just how those floods are making this parking lot collapse underneath all of that water. And unfortunately, many of these same impacted communities are bracing for even more rain as we head into this week. Michael?
Yeah, all right, Alex, thank you for that. Let's say good morning to Ginger. You have the tracking timing.
Yes, and it was beyond Indiana being tortured, parts of eastern Kentucky into Ohio and West Virginia, where homes were surrounded by water. 5 to 10 inches of rain fell, and now here it is coming in again. Eastern Kentucky, Charleston, West Virginia, all in flood watches through tonight. You could see an additional 2 to 3 inches on top of what you've already had. Super saturated soils. The rivers are already so swollen. As that front moves down to the south, we're going to add the threat of damaging wind. So Knoxville, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Charlotte, and Johnson City, by tonight, you all have a chance for these storms to bust through. They're going to be scattered. Not everybody in here gets damaging wind, but this is the type that can take out power and take down trees. So watch that. Trapped below this front has been extreme heat. We're talking feels like up to 115 in Charleston. It's going to stay that way for a couple of days. Jackson to New Orleans, also in extreme heat warnings. This heat has been here for more than a week, Rebecca.
It is unrelenting at this point. Okay, Ginger, thank you. We're going to go now to President Trump's decision to scale back U.S. military exercises with ally South Korea, citing what he calls his very good relationship with North Korea's leader. Foreign correspondent Britt Clennett is in Hong Kong with the latest. Good morning, Britt.
Good morning, Rebecca. Yeah, this is a striking move from President Trump and one that is likely to unsettle South Korea, a key U.S. ally here in Asia. Trump says he now wants to substantially reduce joint military exercises with South Korea, the president citing his very good relationship with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Trump saying the exercises are expensive and send a hostile message to Pyongyang. The president also mentioned Seoul's refusal to take action against Iran. Now, the drills they did kick off today as planned. They're really aimed at making sure American and South Korean forces are ready if North Korea were to attack. South Korea says they've taken note of Trump's message and will continue close coordination with the U.S. But look, the decision to pare back these drills, they come just as the U.S. pulls out its last aircraft carrier from Asia. And it will be a big concern to South Korea, which is still technically at war with Pyongyang. We know North Korean troops are gaining experience of fighting alongside the Russians against Ukraine, that they supply Iran with missile technology, and that only last week they test-fired another ballistic missile. Analysts now saying their missiles could be capable of reaching North America. George.
Brett Clennett, thanks. Now to the war in Iran. The 60-day ceasefire that fizzled from the start officially set to expire today, as Iranian officials fire back at President Trump's claims about the Strait of Hormuz. Chief Washington correspondent John Karl has the latest. Good morning, John.
Good morning, George. Today was supposed to be the deadline for the president and for the Iranians to ink a nuclear deal that would permanently end the war. But of course, that plan fell apart almost as soon as it was made, leaving no nuclear deal and no end to the war in sight.
Over the weekend, President Trump claimed the U.S. is in full control of the Strait of Hormuz and could soon declare the critical waterway American territory.
Pretty soon I'll be declaring the Hormuz Strait a territory of the United States.
Iran's deputy foreign minister almost immediately pushed back, saying the Strait of Hormuz has been Iranian, is Iranian, and will remain Iranian. The two sides have fought over the strait for months, reducing traffic through the critical waterway to a virtual standstill. Now Iran's military chief is making a new threat, offering a $30,000 bounty for every U.S. service member killed or captured, according to Iranian state media. The war has already claimed the lives of 18 Americans and wounded hundreds of others. Democrats are demanding answers and a way out.
How are we going to get out of this quagmire? What is actually the mission? Because so far the mission has changed and the objective has changed so many times.
And over the weekend, CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper visited the USS Lincoln amid reports of deteriorating conditions and mental health concerns for the 5,000 service members on board amid their 9-month deployment, a deployment extended because of the war. After his visit, Admiral Cooper issued a statement saying, quote, "The Lincoln currently has among the lowest number of cases related to mental health." But he conceded this doesn't mean that all is perfect, describing long periods at sea as, quote, "uniquely challenging and tough."
And Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and unofficial ally to the Middle East, is meeting right now with Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister. This comes after Kushner met yesterday with representatives of Hamas. And at this point, George, it is the Israelis that have rejected the president's plans for a peace in Gaza, not Hamas.
And John, on another front, Attorney General Todd Blanche, fresh off his confirmation, striking a defiant note.
Yeah, this was interesting. He was asked point blank if the Justice Department under his leadership would act independently of the White House. His answer was bluntly no, and he added that no attorney general should ever make such a pledge.
John Karl, thanks very much, Michael.
All right. Thank you, George. We're going to go now to the new conflict of interest questions over the Trump family's cryptocurrency business. It just received conditional approval to operate as a bank. Jay O'Brien is in Washington with the details. Good morning, Jay.
Michael, good morning to you. This is virtually unparalleled in the history of the presidency. President Trump's own administration regulating a company tied to the president and now giving that company something it wants.
This morning, President Trump's family crypto dealings facing a flurry of new questions and ethics concerns. The president's own administration granting World Liberty Financial, a cryptocurrency firm co-owned by Trump and his sons, preliminary approval for a bank charter, allowing the company to issue its own specific kind of cryptocurrency instead of going through a third party. It's a move that could be lucrative, opening the door for potentially higher profits that go directly to the Trump family's expanding cryptocurrency empire. The decision coming from the Treasury's Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, run by a Trump appointee. Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren calling it the most brazen act of self-dealing our financial system has ever seen, and ethics experts sounding the alarm.
He's regulating himself, which means, in effect, there's no regulation. So if he breaks a regulatory requirement, if his business engages in more risky behavior than what's permitted under the law, there's no way to hold him accountable.
The White House denying any conflicts of interest, and a spokesperson for World Liberty Financial saying seeking a bank charter means the company is running towards regulation and continuous oversight, not away from it. Started in the months before Trump returned to the White House, World Liberty used to list the president, his sons, his Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff, and Witkoff's sons on its website. The page appears to have since been removed. The firm's deals, including in the Middle East, have helped Trump's personal gains from crypto balloon, earning upwards of $1.4 billion from his family crypto businesses alone last year, according to his financial disclosures. And some key allies who backed the president in 2024 are taking notice.
The crypto stuff's nuts.
What?
Like, Trump has made billions in crypto.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
The White House again denies any conflict of interest, saying the president only acts in the, quote, best interest of the American public. And the White House frequently points out that President Trump's assets are in a trust. It's not a hands-off blind trust, but one managed by his children. Rebecca.
All right, Jay, thank you. We're going to go now to a violent weekend across the country, including a mass shooting in Kentucky that left one teenager dead and 4 others injured, 2 of them children. Overnight, a suspect taken into custody, and Chief Investigative Correspondent Aaron Katersky is here with the latest on that. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Rebecca. Gun violence marred the weekend in several American communities. And just hours ago, police in Lexington took a teenager into custody after a shooting there sent people running. This is the moment gunshots rang out in a crowded park in Lexington, Kentucky. Here you see 2 men talking, but look in the background. There's a disturbance and a group seen backing up. Then shots fired. A woman screams for her baby. People attending a community festival ran for cover. A 16-year-old, Dejon Robertson, was killed. 4 others were injured, including a 4-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 2 adults.
We hear shots ring out. We hear the screams. And then as I'm running away and trying to shield some of the young people that were with me, there was a gentleman right beside me that got shot in the leg. And I just remember thinking to myself, man, I'm not going to make it home to my family tonight. Being in close proximity to gunfire, seeing so much trauma happening at once, it was just heartbreaking.
Overnight, police announcing the arrest of an 18-year-old, Demetrius Griffin, in connection to the deadly shooting. Until Saturday night, there had not been a homicide in Lexington since February.
We're going to do our best to hold those accountable who are involved in this.
Now, there was more gunfire in Hartford, Connecticut, where police said 1 person was killed and 4 wounded. In Kansas City, Missouri, police said 4 people were shot, including a boy under 5. The Gun Violence Archive says there have been more than 300 mass shootings in the country so far this year.
My goodness. Okay, Aaron, thanks very much. We're going to turn now to Hurricane Lala. The worst is over for Hawaii, but now the cleanup begins. Melissa Adon is on the scene in Hilo. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, George. So now Lala has moved out of the Hawaiian Islands. It has left behind widespread flooding, and we are at the banks here of the Wailuku River. At one point, it was raging. We were able to witness that. That's because of the 3 feet of rain that's fallen on the Big Island. We also got to get up close to the intense damage where some communities are still cut off.
This morning, Hawaii cleaning up after Hurricane Lala slammed the Hawaiian Islands with torrential rains, life-threatening high surf, and damaging winds. Some areas inundated with more than 30 inches of rain. 1 person killed in a car accident on hard-hit Big Island. Officials say it happened before Lala's major impacts.
They were getting 2 inches of rain per hour. That means all kinds of damage, and frankly, that's going to be major recovery.
Officials say more than 100 structures were destroyed or damaged, including 6 bridges on the Big Island.
We're near the Big Island southern point where Lala unleashed its fiercest winds and rains. You can see why. This massive destruction here, this roadway buckled just down this road that's now impassable. At least 2 homes reportedly swept away.
Some of the islands seeing wind gusts over 70 miles per hour. Power going out for more than 250,000 customers across Hawaii, including on Maui, impacting our anchor Colleen Sullivan from KABC Los Angeles.
Everyone is frustrated. A lot of people have families. A lot of people have children. For the last 12 to 18 hours, it has been complete chaos.
Now, Hawaiian Electric says that to restore the power, it may take days, even up to a week. But the airports are back open, flights are resuming, and those stranded tourists will now finally get a chance to try to make it home. George.
Thank goodness for that. Melissa Don, thanks. Michael?
All right, George, we're going to switch gears now to the latest class inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, honoring icons of men and women's hoops. Lara, you have the highlights. Good morning.
I sure do. Good morning to you all. So this morning, 8 people and one entire team are the newest members in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, starting with WNBA legend Candace Ace Parker, who earned 3 professional championships and 2 gold medals. Ace bringing her own basketball to this ceremony and crediting her fellow Hall of Famers for impacting her career. Also inducted 2-time MVP, 7-time WNBA All-Star Elena Delle Donne. She celebrated the honor by kicking things off with one of Larry David's Curb Your Enthusiasm catchphrases after spotting him in the front row, saying she hoped her speech would be, quote, pretty, pretty, pretty good. And it was. She moved the audience to tears as she saluted her older sister Lizzie for showing her what true strength looks like. And congratulations to the entire 1996 women's national team. Here they are, receiving their Hall of Fame orange jackets for earning the gold medal at the 96 Olympics, sparking interest in women's basketball, which led to the formation of the WNBA. The other inductees include NBA coach Doc Rivers, 6-time NBA All-Star Amare Stoudemire, WNBA star Shamiqua Holdsclaw, referee Joey Crawford, NBA head coach Mike D'Antoni, and Gonzaga University coach Mark Few. Huge congratulations to the entire class of 2026, all well-deserved.
Huge congrats and pretty, pretty good.
Yes, exactly.
Well deserved.